Bible says that we have to eat shit and like it. Fuck that. So to the people who are in the way, fuck you. And to the people who are not in the way, I think that we need to get more comfortable making these people uncomfortable. If they were uncomfortable, they would not act this way. They act this way because they feel like they can. And not that they feel like they can. Why? Because nobody's really meeting them with any resistance that matters.
That's right.
So then you've got these people who are like, we were talking about RFK, right? So he's got one of the kings on his payroll, and they're supposed to be the black voice, but it's discombobulated because these people don't speak for us. So now you might have been a move, I guess, maybe if you were speaking the right way, but you've got this person who doesn't speak for us, supposed to speak for us. They keep doing that, Dr. Short.
They keep doing it.
People use people who are not for us, that look like us, that share our story to speak for us. You said that bitch said to go home during the uprisings, they told them to go home.
She and Alveda King went and told the people in Ferguson that they were wrong and that they needed to stop doing that. They were the problem. They blamed the victims of the Justice Department, and everybody's acknowledged that the people were right in Ferguson. And in fact, they haven't even been paid back for all the money stolen from them. But the King family came and condemned the black people who are tired of police murder. I want y'all to process that and understand that I'm not petty. I'm not a whiner. I'm not looking for faults in people. But damn, if black people saying we don't want to be murdered is wrong, how in the hell can these kings claim anything? And I want to say I have Sister Temple, Sister Eve. She's in Chicago. And what I want to see come out of some of our spaces is that there is a group of grassroots men and women, but in particular, some of the hardest wazis and the hardest working wazis in America are these black women in Chicago. And Chicago was where Dr. King failed. The issues that were present in Chicago when Dr. King was alive in 1966 are worse even now in 2024. And you need to know that the King family has been trying to pimp Chicago while doing nothing for them. That's another conversation. And some of these sisters and others have kept the Kings out because they already have Jesse Jackass and others. But I wanted Sister Temple, who's in the most important black community in the country with the most folks, that is ground zero of the struggle, that embodies the failure of these civil rights and elected legacies they've got. Chicago's the headquarters for everything. Jesse Jackass, all of them are there. And I wanted to bring this sister on because I don't like my own voice, but it's the only voice I have. So it's nice to have other people speak. And this sister is like pouring kerosene on a candle. So, back away from your microphone. You may get scorched. I'm going to open her mic. And I don't know. I want to make certain there's no interruption. So let me see. I'm going to open up. Can you speak now? Let me see. Try it. Try it. Let me see. Couldn't unmute your mic because they close with unmute your mic because it won't let. Now I got you. Go ahead, Sister Temple.
There. Greetings, Dr. Short. Greetings, Sister Eve, and greetings, Brother Dewambi from Chicago.
Yeah. And Sister, you understand what I'm saying about these legacies, because that is the thing that's happening in Chicago. It's all these legacy families have betrayed. That's how these illegals got everything. Please tell these people I'm not crazy when I'm angry. You can see I'm mad. I got my shades on because my eyes are going to get red. I'm thinking about coons. In fact, I don't want my blood pressure to go up thinking about these traitor niggas out here.
Yes, well, you're very right. We have Dracula Jackson, whom the world refers to as Jesse Jackson. As you know now, his son, Jonathan Jackson, is now
congressman. There was nepotism with that, and even getting him elected. There was a whole slew of individuals who were running for that position. The same thing that America seemed to have had a problem with Donald Trump when he was the president, not showing his taxes. Jonathan Jackson never showed his taxes, and he doubled and tripled down when he was ever asked for them. So again, just that legacy piece when you have these individuals who seem to feel as if we are in London, we're across the pond, and they matriculate to a so-called throne with our tax dollars funding this narcissism and this nepotism to the demise of our communities, predominantly on the south and west sides of Chicago.
Mm-hmm. And sister, isn't it true that these people, they're both Democrats and they're multi-generational families? They're the ones that are supporting the illegals, literally destroying whole black communities, shutting the schools, folk are getting raped, people come and make bowel movements on people's porches, people getting robbed, people getting shot. And these people who are civil rights legacies come and defend the illegals.
Yes. Well, again, Chicago is a cesspool. We know about the machine that churns out all manners of filth and farm. The machine it's still in operation. We know Daddy Daily, Son Daily. There's a sick, twisted relationship between these church members and the parliatricians here. You can pretty much put anyone before them, and you talk about Martin Luther King, talk about the president that hailed from here, and people just are lulled into a false sense of security.
When you said the church members, are you talking about the nigger preachers, or are you talking about the people that sit in the pews? Please help me understand that.
I'm talking about the members in the pews, and I'm talking about the preachers that run the churches. In fact, they are now housing and helping illegal immigrants when they have sat in these communities and only opened up on Sunday, maybe Wednesday for Bible study.
So you mean they're housing the illegals, but they let the black people be homeless?
Yes, they're getting money. This mayor is funding churches and housing and helping these illegal immigrants here, illegal alien immigrants during this illegal alien invasion that we are experiencing now. So yes, they are yet again par and parcel to funding and supporting the demise of the masses of blacks on the south and west sides of Chicago.
Okay, question. Please don't tell me that the churches are helping these people get jobs and housing.
Yes, jobs, housing, whatever they need.
Have they done that for black folks? Have they ever done that for black people in Chicago?
Well, you'll have some individuals who have jobs.
In general, don't tell me about the exception. On average, do these nigger preachers deliver anything? Yes or no?
No, on average, no. They may have a program or two here or there where, the trades are always a thing. They'll fund something like that. But the brothers come back and say they were never able to sufficiently matriculate into the trades because these jobs go to other migrants that are here.
So let me ask you.
Yeah.
Do they have the same program where the preachers work with the police to spy on the black ex-convicts in Chicago?
I can't speak to that, but I do know a lot of these churches will have, or a few of them will have, these halfway houses where these men are allowed to come back into the community, many of them pedophiles, and they're loose in the neighborhood, and the reverends or the pastors running this halfway house, they accept them into the neighborhood, but they will never send them to white communities and endanger white children and white families. Mm-hmm. So yeah, there's always something going on that that's a benefit to their pocket and not our people as a whole.
So just so we can stop here. So, and Chicago's had a long history of people standing up and fighting, but basically, is it fair to say since Harold Washington was assassinated, all of the people who had this reputation at one point of standing up have basically just been for themselves and they've left black people to just fester or die on the vine? Is that fair?
That's a fair statement. Pretty much what the Kings are doing with their dad, it's almost as if it's a vicious circle year in and year out. You can look forward to, it's January now. It's the same thing that you were saying with the Kings. You'll have the pastors, the churches, they'll start talking about King, and it's a breakfast, it's a thing where it's an adulation and masturbation session, but nothing, and talk of dreams, but they never ever matriculate into anything that the community can benefit from. It's self-aggrandizement. That's what it is. It's a whole lot of self-aggrandizement. As a matter of fact, it was said during the city council by the aldermen that they were the gangsters. They call themselves gangsters down there on the 5th floor.
Sister Temple, one more compound question. Have these preachers and other so-called black civil rights leaders or legacies, have they supported Brandon Johnson, and do they support the aldermen that refused to meet with the black people in the city of Chicago around their concerns?
I'm going to say this. Since Brandon has been mayor, there is a division amongst the religious community here. Willie Wilson is from a sect, and Brandon Johnson's father is from a different sect. And this is the first time it was told to me that the religious community, in terms of pastors and their parishioners, have been divided on a candidate. They usually all take a bag and get behind one person. Well, this time, these ones that were supporting Brandon Johnson, they're with him, and they've got the bag and they're sticking with him. They're only showing up like now in the event that he elicits their response and needs to do some putting out of fires here. Mm-hmm. Like he met with some preachers a couple of weeks ago, and he was in the church. He came on the south side, which was, we presume, because if anybody knows anything about Chicago, we are pretty much like segregated. Even our black neighborhoods, the south and west siders typically stay on the west side, south siders typically stay on the south side. So he came all the way from the west side to the south side, and I believe from the community that he was in, maybe Bronzeville, which lies adjacent to Hyde Park in the Kenwood area, where the former president hails from. And so I think that was a signal to those who he would subdue into a false sense of security on the south side, like, hey, we've got some pastors over here, trying to quiet the uprisings of the righteous that are out here protesting the takeover of the schools, the takeover these erected these erected shelters, all of that. He did. He came to the south side so that he could garner some south side support, because pretty much west side is upset with him. They were riding with him a little bit. They're putting their foot down, holding press conferences. South side has been, done with him. And so, yeah, they have been pretty quiet unless he elicits them for a particular reason.
I need to ask you another question. I'm going to stop here and go back to Sister Eve.
Okay.
You can say yes or no. Is this new so-called Black leadership, civil rights leadership alliance with the city government in Chicago, yes or no, they favor gays and illegals over Black people? Is that true?
Yes.
So gays and illegals first, Blacks last. And then the next thing is, could you tell us what CORE is? That group called CORE. People need to know what CORE is.
CORE, I believe, is the teachers' union, a faction of a teachers' union that has taken over politics. Now, the CTU, the Chicago Teachers Union, should be fighting on behalf of the rights of teachers in the public school system. They have become a political arm, and they are now interested in housing because, as you know, Black teachers have been mass fired on do not hire lists. And so this core is instrumental. They have matriculated into the 5th floor. They have matriculated into politics. And so now, not only are they're really not doing too much for the teachers. The teachers are disgruntled from what I'm hearing. But they're more so into politics because now they control the 5th floor. And if you control the 5th floor, unlike when Harold Washington was the mayor, you control the Park District, you control Chicago Housing Authority, you control the Chicago Teachers Union, you control CPS, you control the police department, CPD, you control all facets of everything that went on here. Now, one thing that Harold Washington said, he said that all these entities should be separate. Hire the person who can do the job effectively and efficiently, and not have one person, one czar, puppet mastering everything. And that's what we have here.
Sister Temple, how much time do Blacks in Chicago have if they don't fight this?
Dr. Randy Shore, I want you, Sister Eve, and Brother Dewan B to know this. I have never seen on the south side of Chicago more Latinos, more of other nations of people in every neighborhood that I'm going into that was ours. You can't really say that anymore because we have white flight returning to the cities. And we have this onslaught of this illegal alien invasion that is, we used to have, Chicago is so segregated that the Latinos had their own neighborhood. Our men and young boys couldn't go in their neighborhoods because they would be
killed,
assassinated.
Right, killed. So
right. You could not go in their neighborhoods. You can't go in Bridgeport, where the mayor of Chicago,
where Daley's from.
Was.
So, in a nutshell, Black Chicago's being erased with the complicity of legacy Black leadership, Black Democrats and nigger preachers, the Greek letter people, Black gays, and Black professionals are allowing the Black people who are the bottom 75% to get wiped out. Yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, Sister Temple. I'm going to land my plane for a second, Sister Eve. But now you see why I'm pissed, y'all.
Not definitely righteous reasons to be angry. And Sister Temple, thank you for coming through and speaking those words about Chicago, because I think people don't understand the severity and how it's happening everywhere. I heard the other day about James Madison in New York. They're basically the students are getting bussed out of the schools, or I'm sorry, they had to go virtual because the school, an active school, being used for some illegals, and that's a school that's actively being used. And then I think about the schools that they say that can't be funded, or the schools that aren't getting the funding that have to close, and then those students have to go somewhere else, and now that school is overpopulated, crowded, and lacking things. But that building that's not being used or occupied then goes to these illegals, and that math is never math to me. And now I see why. It's all on purpose. It's all to displace us, and then they will allow these people to come here illegally, usurp the resources. They'll make housing available for them under specific caveats that we're not allowed to apply for, even though the criterion would essentially be the same if you took out the fact that we're not migrants in our home. You know, these people, they get these code words that say that they're not supposed to be here, so they can apply for funding that says that they're not supposed to be here, and then we voted for it, not we, not I, but a lot of us, or a lot of people who look like you and me, are voting for this shit. And then you think about the people who are in positions of power who can at least dog whistle for us, and our niggas won't even dog whistle for us, Dr. Short.
That's
like,
because
it's because
they dog
whistle for each other all the
they're
time,
being paid.
all the time.
They're being paid to kill us. We haven't understood this, and I keep saying this. The black elite is being paid to exterminate us. And we have to stop grinning. We have people who don't mind seeing us all dead. There are people who push that medication and have watched whole congregations drop dead and not even said, hey, well, why so many? They don't care. There's an element of us that wants to exterminate us.
It's very animalistic.
No, it's satanic, and it could be countered. However, a lot of the times the people hide behind, again, the civil rights legacy. So somebody was involved back in the day. My kid has to be okay. They have to be a good person because their parents bullshit. Just because my dad had a 12-inch dick doesn't mean mine is 12. I may want it to be 12. Maybe that's my dream, free at last, right? There's this, like I said, Negro's obsession with brands. Everybody's not the same. And everybody's not going to do the same. Everybody's experience isn't the same. But this is why I'm complaining about this brand thing. This is why, let's just talk about this. First and foremost, Angela Stanton King is not related to Bernice or Alveda or Martin Luther King III or Dexter King. She is Angela Stanton. She's from up here in the D.C. area. Alveda King, as a means to scam, found a dark-skinned guy, I think his name is Eugene King, and married them so Angela Stanton King could pimp the King name. For all those niggas that complain, Bernice, you bitch, complain about people talking about Coretta and your daddy, you let your cousin get this person that's an ex-stripper that went to jail and did all this stuff. I'm not mad at her having problems and all, but the things that Angela's done, let me just give you an example. Elaine Riddick just called me. I didn't take her call because I got 11 people on this channel. Elaine Riddick, the lady who had to take care of her husband, was illegally sterilized by the state of North Carolina in 1968. And she's been one of the most outspoken persons against them trying to depopulate black people in this country. She is president of what's called the Rebecca Project for Justice. I am a member of the Rebecca, and it is a human rights organization that advocates for black women. For all the folks who think I hate women, because I can't stand feminism, I hate this shit. It's true. I would destroy, I'd burn all the feminist books. I'd burn Alice Walker's shit. I would. I don't care who doesn't like it. But I love black women. I love the Wazzies. I love Sister Temple. This is the first time I've seen them, like face to face ever. We've been talking for 3-4 years. I don't know how long. The Rebecca Project, we were the ones that fought to get laws passed where women in prison would not be handcuffed or shackled to the bed while they're delivering babies. That's what the Rebecca Project did. This grifter, Angela Stanton King, will go around and tell people she's the one that got the legislation to end women being handcuffed in prison. She may have had a baby while she was in prison. I'm not saying, but she didn't have anything to do with the legislation. And she's lying. And I happen to have her say this lie to me with other people. And I didn't say anything. I just listened. And I says, wow, why would she? I could have embarrassed her ass and just said, you're a lying nigga here because I'm in the group that did that. But sometimes, like I said, that happened years ago, guys. I did not rush to talk about this. I've waited, saying maybe there's some good, give them a chance. But the time's up. You can't go and talk about reparations one week and then get with RFK, who's not for reparations, and grin at anybody. To hell with it.
Dr. Short, let's go even further than that, because the tweet that I quoted from Bernice King was from 2022, but her pinned tweet from 2023 is with regards to I'm sorry, I don't want to misquote. It says, it's midnight in the Middle East. What the fuck, Bernice? And in the world, as Palestinians, what the fuck, Bernice? She's talking about Palestinians enduring death and devastating.
Because But she doesn't mourn about people right next to the King Center that are homeless.
Dr. Short, she said we can't wait. That's
Yeah,
what she says.
Yeah, but that's her dad's book. But
on her profile.
But she can wait when people sleep in the door of Ebenezer Church, when people wash in the fountain of the King Center, when people sell their bodies in the parking lot of old Ebenezer Church, which I've seen with my own eyes. I mean, you don't feel about that. There were people living in their own shit less than 100 feet from her office in the King Center. So I dare them. I dare anybody say anything because I'll go worse. But back to this Angela Stanton King. Allegedly, now this is the alleged part, that Mr. King is a down on his luck type person, and she picked him out of like a lineup of ex-prisoners, and Alveda King married her with this guy with the name King so they could scam us off the King name. That is a fact. No one's gonna sue me. I dare them. I'll own the fucking King Center. Don't y'all mess with me. I don't even have an issue with you scamming off the King name. But damn it, speak up for poor people. Be about it. I'm not looking for sainthood. But damn it, how can you talk about black family values and you like drag queen clubs? Your son is doing, for fans only, auctioning their ass off the internet in your home. That money that you get from your not-for-profit that you live off of, which is illegal. Oh yes, I'm going there. See, Dr. King also said it becomes a time where silence is betrayal. I've been silent about this because I really don't want the problem. Like Jaguar Wright, we don't want the problem to have to talk about this garbage in the black community, but if we don't, it kills you eventually because you got to talk about it. The Kings are grifting. I did not say Martin III, he's a good person. Okay, he's like, which one of the people in the Wizard of Oz, which one didn't have a brain? Is it this, is it the Scarecrow? The Scarecrow does, okay, he's like the Scarecrow. He's wonderful, but the brain, I mean, I don't know, he got left out. That's one thing, I mean, so, yeah, I said it. Marty, you should surround yourself with smart people with integrity. When you hang with Sharpton, Marty, you cheapen your family's brand, and he rips you off. It's a fact. And you're a nice enough guy to admit it. Sharpton is a piece of shit. I said it. He's a fraud, and I will repeat, Assata Shakur told me and others that he tried to set them up to be killed by the New Jersey Turnpike Police. So I don't have a lot of regard for Al Sharpton. Quote me. He's crooked. He's dishonest. Martin Luther King III, you do yourself and your family a disservice. And in fact, hanging with him is worse than your daddy hanging with Bayard Rustin. And actually, I think they like the same food. That's another discussion. I said that too. So you've got this fake king thing. And it's amazing that there's not one substantive issue. And there's so many causes you could take up for black people that they're committed to because they're hustlers. And it's time for us, and I'm telling you, folks need to start. She's on Twitter. People need to start calling her a grifter. In fact, if you really want to mess with Bernice King, ask her where her man is at. Where's your man at, Bernice? Where's the last time I saw Bernice King up at the National Press Club, she was walking like Wyatt Earp with another lady. Very masculine walk. That her gait was like John Wayne and shit. I'm just telling y'all. I'm thinking, oh my God. I mean, Dr. King would probably shot himself if he saw how some of his kids turned out. I mean, say James O'Ray right here, right, you know, right. I mean, it's ridiculous. And Dr. King.
Dr. Short, I mean, just real quick on the parent legacy aspect of it all. Emmanuel AME, where the Biden camp went, Dr. King spoke there, right? So then we've got this the church.
Which Dr. King spoke there?
What on code is, or
no. If you looked at that church, that church
are in charge now.
No, that church had enough white people to be Iceland. If you look at the video.
I did.
Okay.
No, so with that,
look, I'm a
said,
Southerner, and so are you. You never had that many white folk in a black church unless those are government employees paid to be there. And all those bastards chant.
Our paid opposition. We've got paid optics. So in the event that there were people who would have tried to disrupt the message, they were drowned out by the people who were paid to be there.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got people like us who are saying, we need more people to speak up. But every time we go to speak up, we're drowned out by these paid opposition. So I get why the uphill battle is not attractive to to the everyman. However, y'all, let me let you know, the color purple, the color Slurple. Less than 10 people visited the 3,218 theaters that showed that movie on the opening night. And what that really means is that there were some theaters that nobody showed up to. And I can only think, and I appreciate Dr. Short for, the reminder.
We appreciate you, Sister Eve.
But that's us.
We sunk Oprah. Pork chop down. Slurple is down. In fact, I have a new insult. Whenever you see a stud and they're rude, just tell them to slurp off. And so we slurped off Oprah's movie.
Taraji was even using the math ain't mathin'. So for what it's worth, like, how do you come out against the movie that you're supposed to be making money on, except for the fact that you have to start drawing a line in the sand, and then you've got certain celebrities who are actually saying something. Like we talked about Kelly Price earlier. She's talking about the corruption in the church.
Because the church, let me tell you,
in the industry,
entertainment industry, a rat's ass is cleaner than black gospel music. Okay,
it's disgusting.
When AIDS came around, basically, AIDS was like to gospel music what Hitler was to Jews, because AIDS wiped out the whole music. They had to find new people. In fact, gospel music has been for shit since AIDS, because AIDS decimated the most gifted temple prostitute sissy players in the churches, because the sissies could play. They wouldn't play with the woman, but they could play an organ or piano. And when AIDS came along, it got rid of almost everybody. I mean, it wiped out some of the best gospel. I mean, think about James Cleveland. Let the church say yeah. And he fell. The gospel music is dirty. A lot of the stuff is filthy. I'm glad people are coming out. We have to come out. I can't be silent. Sister Lane Riddick, who sent me a note, they don't care about black people. They are greasing their pockets. They are against reparations for black people, and they don't understand that blacks were trafficked here across the Atlantic. Yes, Sister Elaine, I had people up on my other phone when you left, but let me say this of Elaine. Elaine went to Alveda King to set up a village for black women who were fleeing abuse or didn't want to abort. And Alveda King ran with her idea and gave it to Angela Stanton King. It's that thing called Angie's House. It's a little place she has that looks like the ungreatest whorehouse in Las Vegas. I mean, the decor is very tacky. Now, it's tacky, plus it's not handicap accessible. And I think you need a railing, even if you're just selling ass in there, because, you don't walk the same after you're screwed. I mean, she knows that. I mean, no railing and shit to get in the house, but that's all right. I'll leave that alone. But
well, I mean, I don't think we should leave it too far alone, because what I looked up, from what I've seen, I mean, the place is not real. It's not a real place.
It's not real.
It's a real place that's getting real dollars.
It looks like a chick. It looks like a
dollars the way they're supposed to be.
It looks like a chick.
Strange.
It looks like a chicken ranch. It has basically a whorehouse decor, and she would have an idea of how to do that. And just look at me, the bed's all low and shit. I guess that's to keep them from creaking. So I'm just telling y'all think I'm joking. Look the shit up. But if you're in Atlanta, sister, we need to get people to show up and tell RFK that he knows he can't win, so this is a money grab for him. We need to coon him. They need to show up. And by the way, Angela is using from this playbook to always talk about women. They don't give a damn about women. This Angie's house was the latest thing because there was a guy with the last name King, I think down in Albany, Georgia, that's working with molested boys. I think Angela was going to try to like get a franchise to work with molested children without the experience, and it didn't work. So they ended the LLC down in Albany and started this shit up in the Atlanta area. At a certain point, I think I talked to you about this, Sister Eve, they didn't even have their paperwork and shit set up. And yet they expected Donald Trump to come to that little whorehouse looking place, and you don't even have your incorporation papers done. I want to say something else, that Donald Trump, love him or hate him, literally asked some of these people, one of them being Alveda King and others, what can I do to get black people to vote for me? What do I have to give them? What service? What can I do? And he was told, you don't have to do anything for us. Just do what you do for everybody else. Can you believe that dumbass woman said that too? I mean, there's a lot of things. I don't even understand public policy. I would have, if I didn't have an answer, sir, can I get back to you tomorrow? I want to make certain this is a kind of filth that we get from these legacy Negroes who literally told the white folks, don't help us, we're okay. What the hell? Yet you want it for your King Center. Now y'all get 3-4 million people a year to come through there, and yet you can't get about $5 a piece off them. The average McDonald's manager knows how to get $5 or $6 out of each person that comes through the door. You can't do that. Y'all can't fry chicken. Y'all can't do some of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? And the whole area around the King Center is awful. I'm telling you, like I said, I was in the car with Martin Luther King, sitting across the car, Martin Luther King's sister-in-law, Naomi King, who's about 100 now. And these people were selling drugs in their ass right in front of the King family in Ebenezer's parking lot. And the only reason they stopped selling ass and drugs was because I have a friend that's a policeman that I invited to, because, it's nasty down around there. It's incredible. And by the way, the pastor of that church, Ebenezer, is Warnock, the same man that used campaign funds to pay child support to shut up his foreign wife, who's alleged to have caught him in bed with the man. That's who Bernice and them want to be the senator. And the pastor of their church, allegedly where money's missing. This is the kind of shit in the church and in legacy. You wonder what has Warnock done for black people? He's a senator. Here's Mr. Potato Head looking ass, who's a degenerate. We're going to be wiped out, and I want to put this word, I'm going to keep saying it until somebody hears me. The word is Judenstaat. It means Jewish state or Jewish leadership. The Holocaust was facilitated by the Judenstaat. The successful Jews gave the names of the broke Jews to be killed by the Nazis. This is what the Boule and the Greek letter people and the Masons and the nigger preachers and the civil rights legacies are effectively doing to us right now. And until we tell them, if you don't, we're going to stop you. In fact, there are many documentaries on Adolf Eichmann. He's one of the people that set up the final solution. And if you ever see the trial of Adolf Eichmann, there's a Hungarian Jewish rabbi. He was in the Judenstaat that was helping give the names of the Germans to kill Jews. And when he testifies, people start tripping in the court. The Jews that said, you know what, this fucker set us up. You don't see it in the documentary, but within so many days of that dude, once these people could find the Jewish man, the rabbi, the Hungarian Jew that sold them out, his ass was dead. We're the only people where folks who set us up to be murdered, destroyed, strut. No, the only black person I know that isn't liked by the black community that has security and needs it all the time is Clarence Thomas. And you know what? If we were angry, there'd be a whole lot of niggas with jobs to protect the scum in our race who betray us. That would be a boom, because we have so many coons and traitors and they can afford it. Let me stop for a second. Sister Eve, can you tell them about this thing in Atlanta? We need some people to crash the JFK thing. You know, because, you know, first and foremost, he can't talk anyway. And if you saw, he's not even going to his own birthday party because none of the stars want to be around him. Dionne Warwick's ass just walked on by that shit. She says, I'm not going. Charlie Sheen's not going. Nobody's going. Nobody's for this. The Kennedy shit, basically, his stuff is as busted as Kamala Harris's pussy. All right. It's busted. I mean, it's Humpty Dumpty. It's not going to come together. So why is this whole even running with him other than to get paid? And by the way, can I do some stupid jokes before I shut up, Sister Eve? Let me do this just because we talk about a lot of miserable shit. So let me put some jokes in. What does Oprah Winfrey have in common with the Holy Ghost? The gift of tongues. The other thing, yeah, she has the gift of tongues. That's why she made a movie about it. The other thing I was thinking about, Oprah Winfrey, and that is, Lord have mercy. I love that. We have to laugh, y'all. We have to have stuff to laugh about. You know my joke, Sister Eve. What does Oprah have in common with wipes?
You only need to use them once.
Yeah, she's only good for one use. The other thing is, why don't studs stutter?
Because they got a strong tongue.
Yes, they have a strong tongue. Exactly.
I died when I saw that, and I'm dying now. And look, to the room, I don't know if you've been participating in the conversation for the duration of the conversation, but it's been real. Like, Dr. Short, I know you try to go light when you've been real heavy, and I appreciate that.
We have to do it because we piss people off, man.
No,
oh my God.
No, fuck that. Niggas need to be mad because the only way that they do something is when we're angry about something. And what happens is then we get comfortable, we start getting lax, or, you know, it's like it's not that serious anymore. No, this is very important. To what we've been talking about, can you disown your descendants? Absolutely. You can put things in place to make sure that they can't keep your name in their mouths the way that they've been doing it if they're not doing what you laid out for them. But you can only do that if you've been prepared. I think what the dominant society tries to do and has been successful doing is they take us out before we can make a plan. So look, y'all, it's important for you to take these opportunities where you're listening to these conversations and do something about it, because while you might not have some minis running around right now, you do know people who have minis. You know people who are not doing what their family stood up for. You right now with the Kings and their legacy, if you feel any sort of disrespect when people put grills on Dr. King for his birthday, those memes where he's got grills and he's got, the big Jesus chain and he just looks real ratchet.
I've always wanted a Martin Luther King condom Me, you know.
See, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. Like sometimes our figures are the ones that get desecrated, and 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 there's no pushback because the people who are related to these people don't even give a shit about their legacy. So we've got these people who are acting on their look, Dr. Short, it's like animalistic tendencies. This is what I've come to. We've got people who are animals, or at least acting on their animal principles, and inside of that they don't know how to coexist with those people, because at the end of the day, we're supposed to be a little bit more evolved. At least in Egypt or in Kemet or whatever, they had the animal head on the human body. Like it was only a little bit of the animal and a lot of bit of the person if you were going to do the duality of that. But what we've got are people who have been disjointed, discombobulated, people who lost the leader of their family in important and integral times. So then they use that trauma to scapegoat or to say that this is why they're not doing what needs to be done. No, a lot of us have some shit that's happened to us, and y'all need to own it. It's hard. It sucks. It hurts. But I thought y'all were doing your lineage. I thought y'all were tracing your story. So y'all know about the people in your family who are supposed to be here who aren't. And if that's the case, you are desecrating their memory by not doing anything about what we're talking about. So I implore y'all, stop fucking around. Like, really, at this point, what are we doing here? Are y'all the people you say you are? Or are y'all just niggas online who just like to talk the shit? Because really, I'm tired of having circular conversations.
Right. I don't look. I prefer nature. I like animals. This black thing takes too much fucking energy. If I didn't care about people, I prefer animals, and especially with a lot of people, they're more loyal and stuff. And also, you know where the shit is. Like a cat shit is in a little box, and you can take a dog outside and they can shit. With people, you only learn about this shit when you have a knife in your back or in your head or whatever. So, uh, it's not like some of us want to be famous, and some of us, I mean, to me it's not about fame. I'm happy to work with and push other people, uh and not even be seen, because it's not fun, especially when punishment comes around. And there is a lot of punishment, and there's going to be more, and if we don't do anything about what's happening, it's going to be 10 times harder for people 5 to 10 years from now to do something as this plan progresses to get rid of us. There isn't a lot of time for us to sit on our asses and think someone else is going to get shot at the Lorraine Motel for our asses to get a day off. And we probably would smoke weed on Dr. King's birthday. I mean, so, please do something. If you know folk in the Atlanta area, is that information up there, Sister Eve? Somebody needs to crash that thing for JFK. And some of us should have been at Emmanuel Church. It shouldn't have been that Palestinian bullshit. There should have been some niggas up in the rafters saying something, because they wouldn't have expected. In fact, they knew to have it in South Carolina. And this is the one thing that was interesting. Everybody I called all over the country, we couldn't think of anybody in South Carolina that would stand up. I call people all over. Does anyone know anyone? Zero. And there are places in this country where Negroes are brain dead. In fact, my joke was, how come Joe Biden can't do anything when he has brain lock? He forgot the password.
Stop. No, that's real. Why is that our president, y'all?
Mm-hmm.
That's a whole problem.
Ooh.
That's a whole problem for another night, even though it's the same problem we're facing every night. Dr. Short, I don't mean to cut this.
No, you can cut it. If you're a mommy, it's time for us to go. And y'all can stay on. For those that are on the Angry Black Man's channel, we can spend a little bit more time, but this woman has 5 children she needs to get to. This has gone long. I just want you to repeat her Cash App is Just Eve 03. J as in Jesus, U as in uterus, S as in sucker, T as in Tom, E as in evil, V as in vagina. I know you brothers know that letter. E as in elephant. 03. It's her Cash App. She needs the MFM for her 5 children in private school. Got her man working like 10 jobs. Okay, at least she's got one. Send her something, send her a piece. Let her sign off. And I want to let everybody know, please subscribe to her website. What's your YouTube, baby? Tell me, sister. Tell me.
YouTube is at Just Eve B. I think Just Eve on YouTube. You'll be able to find me. I'm the only one.
Okay.
Sure
and tell your folks about the
but
Angry Black Men's Book Club.
Your Cash App and donation links are also in the jumbo.
Yes.
So are Dewan's. I believe that we are supposed to do this type of thing, even though I don't normally include myself in this. So this is new for me to the room. No. I don't normally do that.
It'll be new in your account when you get it. So you
keeps yelling at me about it.
Yeah, you need look, because we have all these broke activists, they're bitter and shit, all the stuff they did. I don't want you to be like that.
Bitter and shit. No, he's
yeah, I'm just saying. So you can sign off and tell your people Angry Black Men's Book Club welcomes you.
Yeah, y'all are welcome to join Dr. Short on the Angry Black Men's Book Club
on YouTube.
Definitely follow him there. Get the subscriber counts up for all of it. Follow him there. Get the subscriber counts up for all of the channels. I think that if you're participating in these conversations, even if you're just a fly on the wall, wouldn't you want to be in the know when we have new information for you? Wouldn't you want to know when we're dropping stuff? For me, I don't actually drop anything new per se on YouTube, but if you missed the space live on Twitter or on X or whatever the fuck this app is called, you can catch the playback on the YouTube. Tonight, I wanted to talk about if we can disown our descendants, and I think that it's a resounding yes. If you look at the examples of the people around us, they are actively all the time saying what is allowable and what's not allowable. But if you don't think you have anything to pass down, then you won't give a shit about what you have to pass down. All of it will go out the door. I think that we need to value what we have, even if you have a little bit, because it's yours. You have to fight for it. Do you know how many people don't have anything? And I hate to sound like that, like, didn't your parents say, the starving kids in Africa? Now I say, there's kids in Flint who don't have clean water. I don't even say.
Well, there are kids in Newark that don't have clean water.
Fuck that. How can you give a damn about anywhere else but here? Home?
Here. That's right. And you know what my saying is? We have to wipe.
Is allowable in our homes.
We have to wipe our own ass first.
Get away from this animalistic mentality. Like, we're not animals, people. I mean, I know that it's easy to act like that, but we can be family. We are family.
That's right.
Why are we fighting some of this math? At the end of the day, I think our descendants are people that we're supposed to be fighting for.
That's right.
And if you're afraid, then I'm sorry that you're already here, because the fuck, like, your ancestors said it was time, because they fought for you to be here. So fight.
Absolutely. So let me sign out here. I'm going to let that one go. And let me tell y'all one more so we can have some fun. This is an old joke, but it's a new one. I can put your mic on, Sister Temple. Open up so we can chat. And I just want you guys, my joke again, because we have to do jokes. I've done this before, but I'll repeat it. What's the difference between Kamala Harris and an e-commerce website? What's the difference between Kamala Harris and an e-commerce website?
Mm,
She doesn't have a paywall.
okay.
She doesn't. Well, we have to have fun. Come on, y'all. This is some depressing stuff we deal with, people. We deal with some depressing things in our community. In fact, one of the big things in the King family, y'all, is that what's being hidden from a lot of people is that Dr. King used to do a lot of jokes. And to keep up Dr. King's image, where he'd be talking about people and exposing folks, and he could talk like different white people and mock them. They've got hours of Dr. King clowning white people. This is a Dr.
Wow.
King I'd like to hear versus his fucked up kids. Yeah, I said it. Now, guys, it's 11:20. I want to wish everybody. This was just a Wasi Speaks show. Wasi Speaks is for us to have, in particular, great black women's voices heard. We have Sister Temple from Chicago. I wish she had a Cash App so we can let. In fact, you'll come back with the Cash App so people can send you a donation because you're out there fighting and you're my sister in Chicago. I
Yeah.
want to thank you for coming. This wasn't that hard, was it? And we've got to, in particular, I want everybody in the Angry Black Men's Book Club to understand Chicago is ground zero for the black struggle. I live in DC and we're full of shit. DC is full of shit. The Potomac River is brown because there's so much shit in it. So, I mean, we really are full of shit. Unlike other places, we're full of shit. And what they do here is bullshit called politics. So DC is a nasty, shitty city. I live here. Once you get behind the monuments, you find out the slaves made and all this other kind of stuff. And the shit's sinking in the ground. It is. DC is sinking. I just wish it were the White House. I wish a big sinkhole one day find the White House is gone. In fact, our little baby skeletons are being eaten up by parasites and shit. So it's not holding the shit up. But I want everybody to check out. I plan to do more stuff. I'm doing something with the Pat Talk tomorrow with brother Chef C. Oh yes, we're doing Pat Talk, and it will be another great anti-feminist conversation. Nothing but hardcore heteronormative dialogue designed to make all feminists and pork chops irate. It's basically penis monologues on steroids. Although I don't want to see yours, and trust me, you don't want to see mine. Um, we're just being funny. Anyway, I'm gonna let people go here, but I have a scheduled book thing that's late. I'm sorry, but we'll be back to it in a little bit. But we've got some business, so I want everybody to know that what's her name? There's something. Look her up. Angela Stanton King has some shit going on in Atlanta, and y'all need to show up. The black men need to show up. Black men need to put themselves in this situation. In fact, let me see if I can get Elaine Riddick while she's up. Elaine Riddick, I can't add you to this thing. Um, you know, it make it difficult. You make this too hard, Elaine. I wish I were a white man. I'd get more cooperation. That's a whole nother conversation. God, white men, they even have white privilege with black women. This shit is true. This shit's true. I'm gonna keep talking like this till stuff changes. But Sister Temple, thank you. Please come
Thank you.
back. When can we have this conversation? And I want to do this again. I think we had a good turnout. I think we had several hundred people.
Wonderful.
And if Sister Rosita, if we have more notice, The minute we can do this, we can have the whole Chicago thing kick off.
Let's shoot for Friday or Saturday. I was thinking that perhaps just you myself, you, and Sister Rosita.
And however you want to do, however you want to do it. I'm not difficult. I just get really disgusted with a lot of coons that do this because you try to figure out a time every which kind and then when you don't pursue them, they get mad. Well, we were supposed to do it. Well, no, we weren't supposed to do it because as flexible as I am, you couldn't make the shit work. And so I don't run after people. So like I said to you, if you could do it today, it's last minute. In the future, I want to give people sufficient notice so we can plan. And that way we can advertise more. But I absolutely love this. Hello to you, Brother Roro up here. And we're going to be doing more of this. And then I'll be energized to go back to doing the reading. I like my Ray Charles glasses. I feel like doing a song, y'all. Should I do a song? Should I do my song for TD Jakes? Should I get my tambourine?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, let me get my tambourine. I feel like going to church before we leave. Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
Uh-oh. Hey, Cat, you need to get the hell up out of here. I'm about to put get my tambourine, get my shout on. Hey! I got a bigger one, y'all. This was a small one. This is like the welfare job, just because I need some noise. And then I got like basically this is sort of like the semi-bushy one, although I'm going to get a nicer one. But I wanted to do a song and dedicate it to TD Jakes, our degenerate TD Jakes, a filthy liar, no good, nigga
Walrus
preacher.
cakes.
That's right.
Walrus cakes.
So, so this is my redoing of Lord Help Me to Hold Out, none other than our omnisexual gospel king, James Cleveland. So it goes like this. The original thing is Lord Help Me to Hold Out. So we do it like this. Lord, take me to free God. Boy, take me to free God. Boy, take me to free God. Until my power bottom runs. Good again. Boy, take me to free God. I really need you, dearly boy. Take me to free God. Oh, I need it, boy. Take me to free God. Until the bishop comes. I'm going to give y'all one verse. I'm overweight and my skin is greasy, but I'm still rich and on TV. Overweight and dark and a closet gay. How'd I get a man like Diddy? That's why I'm saying you, boy. Take me to free God. Mm-mm-mm. Oh, I need it, boys. Take me to freak off. And there's a line who just says, um, a house is full of guys. Take me to, I need to take me to freak off. Right, right. And then it says, give Diddy the stamina to keep it up. Until their bishop comes. Hallelujah. And then they go, oh, we need not to freak off, take you TD to freak off, take TD to freak off, take TD to freak. And I mean, it's disgusting. And y'all should have seen that he was full of shit. The first time I saw him, he disgusted me. I don't want to like him. Fuck him. You can tell there's something, lisp. And that's, unlike a stud, his tongue isn't as hard as theirs. You never hear a stud. I've never heard a stud that couldn't talk. Their tongue is so good. All the studs are a little feminist spokesperson. You use their tongue so much. I mean, they're like linguists and shit, right? Have you ever seen a stud that stuttered?
Well, they have to perfect that speech because they're talking slick and sly, and you're trying to lure someone into a trap.
Mm-mm. So I've never seen a stud that stuttered. I've seen a queen that stuttered, but not a stud. So they shouldn't be called studs. But anyway, that's one of the contradictions in life. I'll ask God about it with judgment. How come you call them studs, but they don't stutter? Anyway, let me let y'all go. This is the Angry Black Men's Book Club. I am your host and your arrogant, irreverent servant, saying to you, get tired of coons, be a coon buster, and do what you can. There's someone that you know that's a traitor to the community and your family, if nothing other than not speaking to them. If I were a sister, I wouldn't give sex to a stupid traitor black man, just as a general principle. I wouldn't want an unpatriotic nigga up inside me. And his seed is probably contaminated. And imagine the yeast infection you could get from someone like Sharpton. Man, you'd have enough French bread to be Obon pan and shit. Just nasty. Leave these people alone. Okay. We need MFM. So that's my chat. MFM, everybody. MFM, yeah. MFM. We need money. We need it now. We need freedom. We need unity. We need patriarchy. We need real women's rights. We do need heteronormative values. If you don't want to be straight, try anyhow. Stop being a quitter. Stop thinking that you can somehow magically change your penis into a vagina or your vagina into a penis. And those things look like dead snapping turtles and shit. Just stay with the cooch you had. I mean, you get further with it. Trust me. We wish we could get off of stuff like women do. Please don't hack the thing up and don't cut your breast off. Please. I see how these women getting double mastectomies and then meet a dude after being confused. And by the way, ladies, listening to Alice Walker and watching movies like The Color Purple, it messes with your heads and it makes you take longer to figure out who the hell you are. By the time you've cut your vagina up and hacked your breast off and then decide you still want to be a woman, no man's going to want your ass. It took you that long to find yourself. It takes too damn long. And y'all got way more education than women back in the day. It seems like you should have found yourself at 20 or 24. Not at 50, when you're all bloated, hacked up, bitter. Nobody wants you. Trust me. We want to be lovers, not janitors. It's two different things, okay? And my genitalia isn't push room for another person's mess. All right. I'm signing off here. Y'all take care. Good night, everybody. Bye-bye.
Good night.
I'm signing off, guys.